Welcome back everyone, this is Mayank Kothari. Today we are going to discuss about the CA Final SFM Fast Track batch in English. So the entire batch will be recorded in English language and this is going to be most beneficial thing for the CA Final students from South India. I have been receiving lots of requests from days and months from the students that they are actually liking the videos, but the major problem is they are not able to completely understand Hindi. So most of my videos were in Hindi earlier. I only recorded one batch, one regular batch in English, but I never recorded any kind of fast track batch in English. So I thought instead of repeating the regular batch, I think first we should complete the fast track batch. So for the current syllabus, this is going to be the last fast track batch, okay? And after that, the fast track batch will be recorded for the new syllabus, which is proposed by the institute. So this fast track batch is applicable for November 2022 onwards attempt. So November 22, May 23, November 23, May 24, and probably November 24 will also be covered in this. We'll talk everything about the material and the approach for your SFM in the coming attempt. So once you buy this class, okay, this class is of around 100 hours, okay, and let's take around 50 to 60 lectures will be there of 1.5 to 2 hours, and there will be some material given to you. The best part is that the regular batch material is given to the fast track students. So the material that a student will receive in the fast track is similar to the one which is given in the regular batch. So there is no difference in the material as we can see. Now, what is the major difference then, sir, in the regular batch and fast track batch? So regular batch is of around 200 hours, okay. When we record it goes around 200 hours, and the fast track, as I said earlier, that it will be of around 100 hours. So what is the major difference? The major difference is that what happens in the regular batch, I do solve the questions on iPad along with the discussion. So it takes time to write down everything, okay. But what happens in the fast track batch is we are going to discuss the answers already printed in the compiler, and we are going to do all the noting in the compiler itself. Concept wise there is no difference. Question wise also, number of question wise there is no difference. The only difference is in the approach that we are following. We are not writing the entire answer again in the fast track batch. So that's the major difference. The second difference is theory is not covered in the fast track batch, whereas the theory is covered in the regular batch. So what I believe is when you are buying the fast track classes, I believe that you are already short of time. And when you are already short of time, like you don't have much of the time, then we should focus on the most important part. So 80% of the questions that has been asked in the exams are practical questions, but 20% is 20% of the paper comes from the theory part. So sir, do you want to say that theory is not important? No, it's not like that. Theory is very much important. In fact, you can score good marks easily from theory, and that's the major reason I am not covering the theory in fast track batch, because what I believe is when you are already short of time, you can cover it yourself from the theory book. What is required is that you have to just continue reading it and understanding it. So if there will be multiple revisions in the theory part now, then you will be able to easily score good marks in theory. So that's it. What next we are going to discuss is the material that you will receive. Okay, let me give you some idea about the batch. The batch will start on 20th of June and it will end on August. So end of the August, 31st of August, that is my tentative idea. 5 or 10 days, you can just 5 plus minus 5 days will be there. 5 to 10 days will be there. The material will be dispatched on mid of the July. So till that time, if anyone is buying the classes, they will have to manage from the ebooks only. But after that, you will have the hard copy in your hand. Okay, this material alone you can buy at around let's say 1200 rupees for the compiler. Formula book again 60-75 rupees, and the charts will be 250. So if you want to separately buy this material for your friends, it will go around 1500 rupees. The fast track classes along with this material goes to 7000 rupees. In Android mode, 7500 around in Google Drive mode, unless the price increases in the next year or the next attempt maybe. So why I'm giving you this details are, if anyone is only buying the compiler and later on he thinks that he should have gone with the fast track classes, he can now only go for the classes with the difference amount. He don't have to buy the book again. So he can save upon around 1500 rupees from the fast track classes. They just have to call our calling department, sales department, and inform them that they have already purchased the books, and now they just only want to go with the ebook mode. So what we will do, we will just list the ebook mode at a 1500 rupees lesser cost. Okay, great idea. Now comes the second part, is the material. Okay, so let me show you the material that you will be receiving. So this is another screen that I have opened besides me. This is the small book, first book that you will receive. This is called as SFM formula book. This is the summary book for all the SFM formulas. So 99.99% of the formulas have been covered in this. Why I'm skipping that 0.01% is that there can be anything that institute can ask in the coming exam. So they can also pick some formulas from the CA Inter as well. So that's why I'm skipping that much of the part. Oh, I hope you understand. Okay, so this is the small book. Now this covers around 135 formulas. This is updated till May 2022. Now the book that I'm showing you is of the first edition. Okay, you will be receiving the second edition because the second edition is already in printing process, and that has not been received by me yet. And that's why it is not available with me. So all these books that I'm showing you here are the old edition. You will be receiving the same books with the new edition, and which will be covered in the fast track classes. Okay, in soft copy I have everything, right? So this is the book. These are the formulas. I can just show you a couple of formulas like this. The formulas will be there. Okay, now I'll keep it aside, and then you will receive some card like this. This is just one page thing. This is the syllabus weightage, which chapter have been covered for how much marks by the institute. So this is according to the institute only, and the institute has given different types of weightage to the different types of chapters. And you can see that they have clubbed these 3 chapters in second section, again 3 chapters in third section, again 3 chapters in fourth section, then 2 chapters in fifth, and the last chapter is in the sixth section. So different types of section have been made. Okay, so this is also going to help you. I would request you to stick it to your wall in your room so that it will remind you of the most important chapter or the most difficult chapters that you will have to cover. Okay, that's the second part. Now we'll shift to the another part. Okay, apart from these material, you will also receive the charts. I don't have the charts here right now, that's why I will not be able to show it to you, but charts will also be given to you, SFM charts. That is also for the revision purpose. Now this is called, as we call it, as concept sheet. Okay, you can clearly see here that it is of around 48 to 50 pages, and what is covered in that is every chapter's name is given here, and the question number is given in this column, and this question from the compiler, this question number 1 is covered or based on this concept, 1 day and 10 days war, and it is on page number 1. So this way we have covered all the questions of the books that I'm going to show you, and we have given we have written in the second column, we have written the name of the concept on which they are based. Good. Now how this is going to help us, sir? See, when you are going to go for the revision, it is very difficult for you to complete all the questions in 1.5 days before the exam. So you will have to be selective at the end of the day. And when you have to be selective, you should not select like out of 14 chapters. What I will do, I will just complete 10 chapters and I will skip 4 chapters. You can't do that because the paper pattern is very different. They can ask any number of question, any marks from any chapter, so you cannot skip a single chapter. What you can do instead to save upon the time is you can cover up less number of questions for all the concepts. You should cover all the concepts in less number of questions. So let me give you an example. If you will see here, let's take question number 97, 98, 99 and 100. Okay. All those 4 concepts are based on bond refunding. Now what you can do is you can skip first 2 questions and then you can mark the rest of the 2 questions, 99 and 100, for the revision purpose. Because I have arranged the questions in a way that the easiest question on the same concepts are taken first and the difficult ones are put at the end. So if you have to mark the important questions for every concept, mark the questions at the end of every part. What I can say is 99 and 100 will cover the most difficult questions on bond refunding as compared to the first 2 questions of the bond refunding. So this way you can save upon your time and still cover 99% of the course. So the concepts have been covered, the questions have been covered, everything is right, and you can complete the syllabus on time. So this is called as concept sheet. We'll keep it aside. Now comes the major part. These are 3 books. Volume 1, okay. This is in orange color. Volume 2 in green color. It might not look exactly green to you, but it is in green color. And the third one is volume 3 in blue color. Okay. The concept sheet that I showed you also covers these 3 colors. Okay. Orange, and then I think green, and then blue. Okay. So that you get clearly an idea of which volume that concept sheet is talking about. Okay, so let's first talk about the volume 1 part. Volume 1 covers chapter 1 to 7. Let me just give you a brief idea about it by zooming it. Volume 1 covers chapter 1 to 7 and it is based on question and answers. So practical questions and answers of chapter 1 to 7 have been covered. The edition that you will receive is the 4th edition. Right now I am showing you the 3rd edition only because in hard copy I have that one only. It will be applicable for May 23 attempt. Okay, this is old edition, that's why 22 is written here. And there will be different things. These numbers will also change. I will show it to you in the iPad. So first of all, this will be the thing. Second volume will cover rest of the chapters, chapter 8 to 14, and this is also based on question and answer. That means practical questions and answers. So first 2 volumes are covering chapter 1 to 14 only practical question and answer. Okay, now how the question and answers are written or printed in that, let me show you. So these are the chapters. Then comes basic idea of weightage of past exam paper, of how much marks every chapter have been asked in which exam. Then comes the first chapter, risk management. So the theory chapter is the first chapter basically, that's why it's not covered in the volume 1. The first practical chapter in the volume 1 is chapter 2. That's why chapter 2, it starts with chapter 2. So this is the question, this is the answer, in which attempt it has been asked. This is again the question, this is answer, it is asked in the study material. So in this manner it is given to you everywhere, fully colored. All the yellow marked areas are the final answer of that part that has been marked. And one good thing that we have done in this edition, the 4th edition, as compared to the 3rd one, is we have highlighted or we have done the bold thing to all the important or the key points. So let me just give you an idea. Take this as the question. In 3rd edition, you can see here it is written something, calculation of minimum price. This is the first point, and the second point is something like calculation of yield. Okay, you can see it here. These 2 have not been bold here, But in the fourth edition, what we have given the function of bold to these particular 2 points so that it is visible to you from when you look at the entire page itself as well, that from where which point is starting. So this is how it has been covered. It will be very easy for you to cover up this book. Now this is like this much. Okay, the second edition also is like that only. Let's talk about the third edition now. Third edition means volume. These were the first two volumes. Now the third volume covers chapter 1 to 14. Getting it? Chapter 1 to 14 means all the chapters are covered in this third volume, and it is based on the theory questions. Getting it? Theory questions. So all the theory questions from all the chapter first to end are covered in this. Now it starts like this, and the theory question and answers are given like this. This is the question number 1, the topic, the attempt, and the answer. The important parts are highlighted, like the keywords have been highlighted in some questions like this, and this is how it goes. Okay, so this is compiler, third volume. 3 volumes of compiler, first, second, third. Concept sheet, weightage sheet, we call it as a weightage sheet, formula book, and then the charts will be received by you. So this much is about the material. Let me show you the number of questions that we are going to cover. So let's just shift the camera. Now have a look on this. This is the fourth edition that I was talking about. This is what you are going to receive, and you will see here we have covered everything till May 2022 attempts, past exam papers, revision test papers, mock test papers. Okay, it is updated according to 2022 ICI study material. The number of practical questions that are covered in the compiler first and second is 637, and the theory questions are 309. This 637 question covers 80% of the paper, and this cover 20% of the paper approximately. This is what you have to do by yourself, and this is what I am going to do in the fast track classes. And it's not that you have to cover up all the 309 theory questions. You can just at the end moment do the important questions. What I'm going to do is, in the Telegram channel, you should join Telegram channel, I will upload the important theory questions for your attempt. So out of 309, I think I'm going to select around 100 only questions that you should cover for your exam. Most important, or we can say that the probability of asking those 100 questions is around 70% as compared to the rest of the question. Chalo, good. Now. So this is all about the material that I have told you. Now comes the major part before starting the main syllabus. From the next part, see the bold part, I have done it here as well. This is how it is going to look in your copy. Okay. Now, before we directly jump to the syllabus and start with chapter 2, I think the most important part is I should tell you about 2 things. First is about the Android part. I started teaching, let me discuss something about myself. I started teaching in 2014, and then I stopped taking face-to-face classes in 2017, because in 2015 and onwards, I started taking video lectures. Like I started recording the classes and then giving it in the entire country. I liked it so much that I liked it so much that I had to stop the face-to-face classes, because I was not getting the time to go for the face-to-face classes. I was enjoying the recorded classes as very much. In 2016, and I started conferenza.in as a platform, and with only my classes on that, listed on that, and I was selling my classes through that website at that time. But later on, we started selling the classes of other teachers as well on Conferenza. In a year or 2 maximum, we got a good response from the entire market for the other teachers' classes as well, and for my classes as well. In 2017, somewhere, I started MCQ app, the Conferenza app, on which we started giving free of cost MCQs to the students. Later on in 2019, after 2 years, I started the Android project. What I wanted is that the student should watch all the classes on Android. Android means mobile phone. Now comes couple of things. First thing is, I was getting very like huge number of or we can say high number of rejections for that. People were or students were not ready to watch the classes in mobile, and the major reason that that was there was that the screen of the mobile phone is small. It is smaller than the laptop or the desktop screen, and it is not possible for them to study in Android. So that was the, I think, feedback that I was getting for not going for Android classes. So I was very disappointed at that time. But I strongly wanted that this Android project should be successful. Now, when I look in the past and I can see clearly that earlier face-to-face classes was there. Okay, you can see that we used to go for the face-to-face classes, but later on, before COVID itself, a final market shifted to the Google Drive and pen drive classes, which we can watch on the laptop. So when the market started for laptop thing, at that time also students were of the view that it is not possible for a student to watch the classes on laptop for 200 big hours, because face to face classes has its own charm. It is very easy and convenient for the students to discuss with the teacher when he is available, he or she is available in front of him. In face to face classes, it gives you the feel and the experience of the class. But on the laptop, students will be lazy and they will not be able to complete the class, and it will not give you that experience. This was all the reason that everyone gave. But no matter what, it had one benefit. The laptop classes had one benefit. Video lecture classes had one benefit, which is of convenience. What used to happen in the face to face class was that if you miss out on couple of classes, couple of batches, couple of days we can say, then you will miss out on the entire chapter, because you will not be able to build up that link later on as well, and you will not be able to do that class again after 2 months. And teacher were like, we will not allow you to sit again in the next batch as well. So it was very difficult for a student to cover up the 100% syllabus in that 2 months time. So laptop classes gave that convenience to the student that you can cover at your pace, at your time. You don't have to wake up every day at 6 a.m., or you don't have to go to the class at 7 p.m. in the evening and come back home at 10 p.m. You can just sit at your home at your own time, comfortable time, and then watch the classes in the morning itself, in the night itself, late night itself, early morning itself, afternoon, evening, anytime. And that gave students the convenience of completing the classes at their own pace, and people liked it. Obviously, it had the drawback of discipline, that students were not that disciplined in the video lecture classes. But I think every format has their own drawbacks. Face to face classes also have their own drawbacks, so we should accept the drawbacks and continue with the new trend if we can see it is more convenient to us. And now comes the mobile part. When I go to convince the teachers and the students to watch the classes in the mobile, they always says that it is like a very small screen and it is not possible for us to cover up the practical subjects in mobile. And at the time I have only one answers to them, that whenever the revision videos comes up on the YouTube, what you do is you watch the entire YouTube videos or the revision videos on the mobile phone itself. You don't open up the laptop every time to watch the revision videos. I have seen lots of students, I have asked lots of students that where do they watch the revision videos of 1 or 2 hours every time a teacher uploads it on YouTube. They always say that it is the mobile that they prefer. And why the mobile? Because they can watch the classes or the revision videos when they are sitting in the washroom, when they are on their bed, when they are in the metro, traveling, anytime they can carry, because they are carrying their mobile phone in their pocket all the time. And that's the convenience from the laptop to the Android. The major benefit is that you can save up on your precious time. On the laptop, you will only study when you are fully ready for that and the laptop is with you and at a proper condition. Like there should be table, chair, or something like that, or the power should be there, something like that. And then only you will watch the classes on the laptop. But with the mobile phone, you carry the internet and the device with you all the time. You can watch the classes anytime and you can cover it up. It is very inconvenient to open the laptop in the metro or traveling or in the cab as compared to the mobile phone. So if you want to save up on your time, my request is that go for the Android video lectures for this batch as well and for the rest of the batches at conference as well. It is going to save you a lot of time. As also one more thing, that it is cheaper than Google Drive classes. I think it should be costlier, na? Because it is giving you convenience. It should be costlier, but no, it's cheaper than Google Drive classes. So you can save up on your time, you can save up on your money as well. Try it once. That was my first request. The second request is the approach that we should follow while doing these classes. So I am going to start with the fast track class, the basics of time value of money from the next lecture. But before that, there is one thing which is very important for you to understand, and if you do that, I am sure you will be able to score 80 plus marks or 90 plus marks in SFM. But if you don't do that, then you are at your own risk. You should follow this approach. So let me give you an idea of about this approach for another 10 minutes, and then we will start with the classes. So just give me a minute to get ready with this. Just a second. Okay. So these are the points that you should understand very carefully and apply. This is the approach of studying SFM for scoring exemption, and I can say that for scoring 80 to 90 plus marks in SFM. First of all, read theory of a chapter by your own from volume 3 compiler. So third volume is based on the compiler. What I want is you should complete the reading. Focus on this. I am just asking you to read. I am not asking you to put pressure on your mind to understand that theory. Just read it. Whatever you will understand, you will do that, and otherwise also it's all fine. It's not necessary to 100%. It's like to 100% get those things in your mind, or it's not necessary that you should be able to understand it 100%, okay, fully. But it's okay if you just go through a normal reading. Once you have read that particular chapter, then you should start with the classes. Watch concept videos from the classes. Okay, just go through first concept. Let me give you an idea. You can see it here. The first question is based on 1 day 10 days war. Again, this is war. So mostly in risk management only war questions are there. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to first watch the concept video of war. What is value at risk? Once you watch that video, understand that concept, okay, and then do one thing. If the video is continuing, pause the video. There will be some efforts, right? Pause the video and do the questions, or better I should write, solve the questions by your own from volume 1 and volume 2. solve it. Sir, you have not solved it yet, and before that you are asking us to solve the question. Exactly what I want you is to make the mistake. What I want you to do is to fail. Every time you solve a question, I want you to fail miserably at your home only. You make the mistakes, you fail in it, and then you find out those mistakes. Then what you have to do, I will just do one thing. Then you watch the answer in video, or look at the answer, or in a better way I can write down, look at the answer in video or compiler. The answers are also printed in the compilers. Just go through that and find out your mistakes, where you are making the mistake. You will easily understand that if you have written 50 by solving, when you were solving through yourself, and the answer says it is 70, so the difference of 20 is due to some kind of mistake that you have made. You should be able to find out that mistake and write it down in compiler itself beside the questions. Write it down. Anywhere you are getting a space to write something, just write down that mistake, that what you understood and what you should have understood. Okay. So if you keep marking your mistakes in every question, you will start improving after a point. 9th, repeat the process for next question. The most important part, don't quit. What will happen at this point when you make the mistakes and you find out that you are making so much of the mistakes, so many mistakes, you will be disappointed and you will start to think that you should quit this process. But let me tell you one thing. This is the most difficult part that you are going to face, and those who will quit at this point will be the loser. But if you want to be the winner, you should not quit. Even though you are failing every time, have faith, but don't quit. Have faith in yourself that not today, not tomorrow, but someday I will start improving, and I will keep on improving in such a way that I will become the best in this world, in this area. Have faith. Practice makes man perfect. So practicing, finding out the mistakes, making the mistake and failing will improve you. And then revise every chapter through formula book and charts every week. At least if you have 2 years, okay, or I can say that every chapter should be revised every week. So you have completed the first chapter in first week, revise that. If you have completed totally 4 chapters till now, from the 5th week you should revise all the 4 chapters every week. Once you complete the classes, every week you should revise all the 14 chapters. You do that, and I give you the guarantee that you will be able to score very good marks in SFM. In the entire process, you should focus on the concepts and not just the answers of the questions. Answers of the questions are not that important. The entire journey is important. The concept covered in that question is important to understand, because when you will sit in the exam, there will be new question there, but based on the same old concept. So you should focus on the concept only. Now why I'm giving you this process is the most difficult part, but it will give you the wonderful result to you. Now if you look at a small child or a kid, like just say 2-year-old kid, 1.5-year-old kid, if you just leave him and ask him to walk, he will try to stand up, and he may be able to walk a step or two, but he will fall down later on. What he will do is he will not stop there. He will keep on rising, putting steps further, and then coming back or falling down. He will just stand up, he will try to walk ahead, he will fall down again. Do you think that that kid will learn to walk by watching YouTube videos of how a child should walk? Do you think doctors will be able to operate by learning on YouTube, by watching things on the YouTube about the operation? Do you think a person will learn to drive a car by watching how to drive videos on YouTube? No, sir. Watching the videos will not make you good. Doing the things will make you good. So what I'm asking you here is, don't be dependent on watching these classes only. This is not going to help you in a manner which will help the help which you will get from this process. Make the mistakes, thousands of mistakes at home, but when you will go to the exam, you will not repeat that mistake. You will be very confident at that time, because you have come a long way through these failures, and then you are sitting in the exam. A lot of people don't practice anything, and they are just like naive in that thing, and they just go to the exam to write down first time in their life on some paper or something. Till that time, what was happening was like they are just watching the classes, and it used to look very easy answer because teacher was solving it. I didn't do that. A student didn't do that. So unless and until you make mistake, you will not be able to clear the exam. That's my small story. That's my what I can say, that big story made short. Follow the process and you will get the results. That's what I'm saying. So from the next lecture onwards, what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain the concept, and I'm going to discuss the answer of that question. But what you have to do is, meanwhile, in between these two, you have to pause and do all these things, and then come back to the video of answer, and then understand what I'm saying it. Where you made the mistake, mark the mistake, repeat it, then repeat it in the next question, and the question, and the question, and the next question, and the next question. Fail it 1,000 times. I'm all okay with that. You should all be okay with that. Don't get disappointed by failing at home. You should get disappointed when you fail in exam. But that's what the major difference is. A lot of people are okay with failing in exam, but not at home. They don't want to try or do something at home. They're like, just first time they are sitting in the car and they want to drive it very nicely. It's not possible. You have to learn to do that, and you have to make the mistake. So my humble request is that embrace the quality of failing, the characteristics of making the mistake. I consider myself lucky when I make mistakes, because I learn from it. The next time I will not be starting from the same position. I will be starting with a good experience of failing. So that's the major thing that I wanted to request you. From the next lecture, we are going to first focus on the basics of time value of money, and then we'll shift to the chapter 2, risk management, and we'll continue with the syllabus. But don't forget this process entirely. I will keep on reminding you about this from time to time. See you. Bye bye.